What's up, guys? CSGO tips number 26. I'm pretty sure it's 26. Borrowing my friend's microphone because, I don't know, but we're going to be talking about improving your crosshair placement and adjusting it to your physical abilities. You'll find that in a lot of tutorials or beginner tutorials about proper crosshair placement, that they will say things like, hold your crosshair right next to the wall and aim at head level. And this isn't very realistic for not only beginners, but for a lot of mid to higher level players as well. Because I would guarantee about 90% of people that are aiming here aren't aiming there or they're not aiming there for the right reasons. Now, imagine you're a T, and you know a CT is holding some kind of angle like this, like near the corner. Now, if you're a T, right, you're probably just going to swing out like this with the rifle, right? You have your AK, you're going to swing out here to clear banana. And then you're going to keep going, and you'll probably see this guy, and you're like, oh shit, there was a guy there. From the CT's perspective, you just ran across to the right, to the CT's right. So if I wanted to actually take this fight, right, I wouldn't aim right here, because that's not where he's going to be when I start shooting. He's going to be a little more like over here, right? The T's going to swing out wide, and it's going to be over here by the time I react and I start shooting. So what I'm saying is, if you know someone's going to swing out wide from the angle that you're holding, you don't want to hold against the wall. You want to hold a little farther out and then start shooting. If you hold your crosshair too close to the wall, what's going to happen is that you might start shooting before your crosshair actually gets to the person that you're shooting at, and that's going to mess up your recoil control, and then that might end up giving the T enough time, because you missed a few shots, to frag you instead of you fragging him. Another factor that goes into this is your own personal reaction time. Now, I encourage everyone to try to improve themselves and try to hit the shots they don't usually hit, but at a certain point you need to realize your limits and realize how fast you can actually react to someone moving across your screen, and have your crosshair at a reasonable standpoint based on your own physical reaction time. For example, if I had a rifle and I was holding something like this, I cannot hit the shot. If a T were to cross to the right, I would not be able to kill him. I'd maybe tag him like once in the arm, but he would almost guaranteed be able to swing past me before I could land more than like 2 bullets. I know this. I've held this angle hundreds of times, and every time I try and I challenge myself to hit that shot, I don't hit the shot, right? I'd have to hold something like this, maybe a little wider, for me to have the reaction time in order to react and shoot him. So I don't hold this kind of angle, right? I can't hit the shot. I can hit this, but I can't hit this. It's too tight of an angle. So when you watch yourself play, find those situations where your opponent is swinging out and you try to shoot him. Are you shooting too early? Are you shooting too late? Based on where your crosshair is, do you have to trace him? Those will be the things that help you line up easy shots and to get those kills. This is also applicable to your opping, right? For example, I cannot hit this shot in most situations. There is no chance for me to hit this shot like that. However, I can hit someone that tries to cross like this if I'm double scoped in. I can usually tag someone, or I should say kill someone, if someone tries to swing wide on me as I'm holding this kind of angle. Or even sometimes like this. But I can't get this kill if he swings. So I don't hold these kinds of angles unless, which is the next part that I'm getting at, unless you know that they're going to jiggle peek you, or if they're going to peek you very thinly. And by thinly, I mean with, like, let's say a rifle, just like this, just enough so that they can see you. That's it. I'm gonna call that a thin peek, because you're not giving yourself a lot of room to see the rest of all this. You're kind of just only peeking here. Now, against a rifle, you don't really hold this, because you don't expect people to either A, jiggle peek you, or B, thin peek you. The only time you expect someone to thin peek you as if they have an op, really, for the most part. If you know your opponent has an op, then you can hold this kind of angle, because he's probably going to thin peek you, and he's going to be on your crosshair by the time you react, so you just click, and that's the kill. Op crosshair placement is slightly different, although you're considering the same options. Thin peeking is a little more likely if you're playing against an opper, right? So you can't start to hold these kinds of angles, and you see someone cross, you can just shoot and back away. Now, if your opponents know you have an op, they might wide swing you if they don't have an op. So if you know they're going to wide swing you, you can hold something like this, where you can catch people coming across your screen. If you anticipate the opper peeking you right away, you can hold something thinner like that. Alternatively, if you know they're saving and they want to jiggle peek you, you can do something like this. You can hold an angle really close to the wall they come out of, and once you see them start to jiggle peek you, if you're holding against the wall, you shoot them. You shoot their arm as they jiggle. So they'll do something like this, and you shoot their arm and they're dead. If someone's full on pushing you with like a pistol, right, you don't necessarily want to hold these kinds of angles because they're going to swing past you 100% of the time. So what you could do is, let's say they cross here and now they're trying to push you like this and jump peek you. If you think they're going to jump peek you or like super wide swing on you, you hold super far out from the wall. Right? You hold super far out from the wall, they run into your crosshair. You're not aiming for them to thin peek you, you're aiming for them to wide swing you. So you see them come across your screen and you shoot them. Same thing if they jump. If they jump, you just have to aim up. Right? You just have to go aim up and shoot them. Instead of being like instead of diagonally flicking, you just boom. Another good example of this is on B, on cache. Now, if you're opping and you know the T's love to go into B main, you hold something like this. For me, I have a hard time hitting this shot because people usually jump across. So what I'll do instead is think, am I trying to fight an opper or am I trying to catch the first person that swings and jumps across? If I'm trying to fight an opper, I'll hold something a little tighter, like so. Maybe even like this, so that the opper comes into my crosshair, stops, and shoots. And hopefully before he can shoot, I shoot and I get that kill. If I think they're gonna wide swing, then I'll hold something even wider like this, so that they run across my screen, and by the time I can react to click, they'll be on my crosshair, and I shoot. I could do something like this, just to spot for info, so that I can slightly optimize the amount of time it takes for me to get away. So like, oh shit, they're coming. Except you don't jump. Now I come here and reposition and take a different angle. So when you're holding your crosshair as an opper, you gotta consider all these things and try to get the kill based on how you think they're gonna come out of this this line, this entry point. So to recap, hold the angles where you know you can actually hit the shots. Don't hold impossible angles like this that the pros might hold, because you are not a pro. I would imagine. If you are a pro, let me get those hit-ups. But for someone like me, I can't hit the shot if someone peeks me. Only if they like thin peek me specifically to kill me. But if they're doing that, they probably have an op, so ooh, rough. So if I expect someone to swing, I'll hold a little bit farther out. And I know my reaction time. I know I can hit something like this, but I can't hit something like that.